Hello everybody, this is the Vikstrand and today we are in Maratea, and today there is a before and an after with me and Michael Keaton. Now before 2014 I didn't particularly like Michael Keaton. I didn't have anything against him per se, but I didn't find him very funny. I didn't like his comedies, I didn't like the thrillers he was in. I didn't like Michael Keaton at all. And everybody keeps saying, oh, he's such a good actor, but he has never given the chance. Everybody just remembers him as that Batman guy. I didn't like him as Batman either. Now, in the beginning of 2015, when Birdman was released, I was sort of, why is everybody raving about this one? Then, when the movie actually got an Academy Award for Best Picture, I went and saw it, which I normally do with the movies that gets an Academy Award for Best Picture. And my entire perspective of Michael Keaton was changed instantly. I didn't know he was so good. And nowadays I am looking forward to a new movie with Michael Keaton. Let's take a look today at Birdman. Now, Michael Keaton plays Regan Thompson, a meta version of Michael Keaton. He was in a famous superhero franchise called Birdman, but nowadays he's a pretty forgotten actor, and but he's going to try to bounce back by being in a play on Broadway that he's directing and starring as the main lead. And he really hopes that people is going to take him seriously and stuff like that. And the play is just plagued with problems, and he has to make sure that his daughter played by Emma Stone, who is really good in this movie, doesn't fall back in her old addiction stuff, and he doesn't he also has to try to make sure that everything works, and he'll hope that no evil critic or will just savagely bury this play or something like that. And he also has the Birdman, his alter ego from the movies, that may or may not drive him insane and may or may not make him be able to do amazing things, including telekinesis. That's the word I'm looking for. So this is basically our movie. Is Michael Keaton is trying to get a play on the road, and he's gonna try to make himself a respected actor again. Keaton is so good in this movie. He's fantastic. The rest of the cast is great. Naomi Watts is great. I don't really care too much for Zach Galifianakis, but I think he's okay in this one. But the standout star, apart from Keaton himself, is of course Edward Norton, who plays a douchier, more method actor than the normal Edward Norton. And I didn't know Edward Norton could be this funny. He's so hilarious in this movie. He just takes himself so seriously in such a carefree manner, and he and Keaton has the best sequences in the entire movie. They have fantastic chemistry together, and the movie fight they have with each other is one of the funniest I've ever seen. It's also one of the clumsiest and least hard-hitting movie fights ever recorded. It is not so much the Raid 2, it's much more kick-ass. It's fucking hilarious. And I love this peeking behind the curtains kind of a thing. One of the gimmick things behind this movie is, of course, that it's shot in what appears to be a one-take thing. It's, of course, not done in a one-take thing. They make the kind of same thing as Hitchcock did with Rope, and later Sam Mendes would use in 1917. I've always thought this thing is kind of gimmicky, and I think this is the only reason this movie got an Academy Award for Best Picture, just because they did this kind of a thing. And they do it once in a while, and everybody always gets, whoa, how awesome this is. But it is pretty obviously where the cuts are made. It still makes this movie flow very nicely. With that said, I think it still is a bit gimmicky. And I think that one of the I don't understand why they couldn't have given this Academy Award to Michael Keaton. You could have given it to Bradley Cooper, you could have given it to Benedict Cumberbatch, but no, you had to go with Stephen Hawking, I guess. It's even more sadly when you're thinking about what this movie represents to Michael Keaton. This movie is a drama comedy, and it is funny, but it is not that dramatic actually. It is more of a comedy, but a deeper, more hardened comedy. I think personally that it's not one of the best movies of all time that has won an Academy Award for Best Picture, but it is still a very enjoyable, it's still a very funny, still a very thought-provoking and visually spectacular movie. I don't know what I think about the percussion-heavy soundtrack that they're using. I think it is okay, but I don't really love it that much. So the movie moves along, and I freaking love the ending. The only problem is that the movie doesn't quite end there. And here is my problem with this movie. It should have either been 10 minutes longer with a more conclusive finale, or it should have been a more dramatic pow cut off. They decided to do neither. They decided to do a Frankenstein's monster of a version of them. And I also would have liked to see more interactions between the Birdman persona and the Regan Thompson persona. But his inner monologues and his, doubting himself and all that stuff is great. And Keaton is absolutely fantastic in this movie, and he should really have gotten that Academy Award, but it will forever not be in his grasp, I suppose. I think that Birdman is a movie that, even if you're not that interested in theater, I think you should see this movie just because, so you can see what it did to Keaton's career. For me, it was a complete turnaround, as I said. Now I view Batman as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, comic book movies of all time. I didn't like it before I saw Birdman that much, but now I absolutely love it. I don't know what they did, but this is one of these amazing movies with a slightly botched ending, but it's still a great movie and should be watched by anybody who has an interest in Academy Awards history. This movie easily gets a 77-point rating with great acting, an interesting script, an intricate way of shooting, and an interesting and unique way of telling stories. At least should give this one a notch above much of the other movies that came out this year. It's great, it's very entertaining, and I just wish they could have had more Birdman, more Edward Norton, and I also wish that the ending could have been a little bit different. Otherwise this movie would have been even higher. See you next time, here from here in Italy, from, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.